Thanks for the smoothie.
Cheers.
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 Welcome back to the Aaron LeBauer Show. So this is Jess. And Jess from WanderlustPTs. I'll let her introduce herself in a minute. We've been hanging out. We've spent Saturday, Sunday here with our Platinum Mastermind. And then there was an optional 2-day skiing. And we had a handful of us come up and ski. And Jess and I have been skiing today. And so we thought we'd just do a recording of a show.
Because why not?
Right?
Yeah.
So
content day.
Yeah. Content day.
Everything is content.
Mm-hmm.
You've been drinking smoothies at the bookstore.
Yep. This is the so where are we? What's the store we're at?
This is Atticus.
Atticus Coffee Shop in Park City.
Yes.
And I got
delicious.
the bee pollen protein.
Yeah. It's good. Peanut butter, banana.
Butter banana.
Yeah.
It's delish.
And they draw a little bee for you, which is even better.
Oh yeah. Oh nice. Okay. So Jess, it's been a while since we did the podcast.
It is.
And we didn't do one in person, did we?
We haven't. And we haven't done one in person.
Just on Zoom.
Yeah. Me.
Yeah.
And if I think back to the first podcast we did, I was so nervous. That was like the first podcast that I've ever done. And I was extremely nervous. And how things have changed in 2 years.
Right.
I mean, I'm still nervous, but
so
a lot different.
Let's see. Let's just start. Tell us who you help. What do you do?
I was a travel physical therapist for 10 years. And then I created a blog called WanderlustPTs, where I now help other new grads confidently become travel therapists.
Yep.
And thrive as travel therapists and then even beyond.
Nice. So we started working together in 2020. And
Yeah.
you reminded me of that this week. And I was like, oh gosh, that's been almost 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
What was going on what was going on in 2020 before you started, and what was the pain point? What was happening other than COVID?
Yeah, I mean, as it was for
Yeah.
everybody. So I was a travel PT for 10 years, and I was on an assignment. I got let go.
Were you on assignment in Greensboro?
I was on an assignment in Greensboro,
Yeah.
which is I was planning on going to PT BizCon.
Mhm.
To reignite the fire under my bum around my blog and the business that I had created. And so I was really excited when I got hit with an ad for PT BizCon because it was in Greensboro and I was supposed to be on assignment in Greensboro. And it went virtual anyway, but I joined PT BizCon. That's when I met you and saw the potential for what my business could be, or you helped me to see it.
Yeah. So you were at Traveler, let go. You already had this blog that was generating some money. But how much were you making?
At that time, maybe 5,000 a month, 4 to 5, through the blog and affiliates.
Yeah, awesome. And then what was your first goal?
6 figures.
Yeah.
As it is for most PTs, right? We all just want to hit 6 figures.
Right.
Just want to make a 6-figure salary. So I remember we got on a call.
Yeah.
And I said, you said, Jess, what is your goal? And I said, I just want to make 6 figures. And you said, okay, do you want help doing that?
Yeah.
And I said, can you help me do that? I didn't even know it was possible. Mm-hmm. And you said, yep.
Did you not know it's possible for you to get 6 figures or for me to help you or someone to help you?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Probably both. But you were so confident in your answer that I trusted it.
Because I'd had a similar conversation. You talking about John Schumacher.
Yeah.
It was like I met him through YouTube, and he was a PT, and he had interviewed me on his podcast show about cash-based physical therapy. And I was in this place where I was trying to figure out how do I get my course, how do I create a course? And I'd been on this call, and it was like, oh, we can help you British people make a course for $12,000. I was like, okay, a $12,000 course, but I was like, I can't sell $100,000 worth of courses, or
right,
I'm sitting there talking to John sitting in my garage talking to him on my phone. He's like, Aaron, you have a 6-figure business. I'm like, no way.
Mm-hmm.
But so I had that conversation. And then was able to do it.
And it was you in my seat.
Yes.
And then you saw how it was possible.
And then you were doing it, and you had more things going on than I did at that time. And I was like, yeah, I can absolutely.
Yeah. I have a blog. I had an email list. Not a lot of social media following, but I did have a course that that people
Mm-hmm.
wanted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did have all of those things in alignment, just no real direction on how to best go about capitalizing on it. And especially because COVID meant the end of travel PT, the end of a lot of PT jobs for a long time.
Yeah. So were you selling people into travel PT at that time?
No. I had to transition.
Right.
And I did. And thanks to you. And I had already always wanted to teach other people how I created a blog, how I created an online course, and how I moved into the digital PT space. I also was really eager to learn about telehealth for some reason in like 2018, and had done some training around telehealth. So I had the education around telehealth, but also blogging, email marketing, online course creation, webinars. And I wanted to roll all of that into a course where I could teach other PTs how to be free in creating digital products for themselves.
Right.
So that was always something that I've wanted to do, and then I kind of put it on the back burner for a bit, and COVID forced me to take it off the back burner and say, okay, this is your new focus.
Yeah.
So I launched a program where I helped PTs move into the online space. I said, guys, the patients are still out there.
Yeah.
We just have to get to them virtually now instead of in person because it's COVID. And I think I've had maybe 75 or so through the program.
Nice.
Since then.
What was the strategy that we implemented that made the biggest difference?
Yeah. I remember saying to you, Aaron, like, I've got this program and people want it, but I'm on so many phone calls for hours at a time, and not everybody is right for the program. And you said, well, we need to create an application funnel so that people are applying for your program, and then that way you're only getting on calls with people that are the right fit.
Right.
So that saved me probably hundreds of hours, and also helped weed out the people that might not be the right fit for the program, and it created a system and a process that I wasn't going back and forth. When can you schedule? I mean, it was just so much time saving there. Yeah.
That's awesome. What difference did that make for you? I mean, so time.
Yeah. It was another revenue stream beyond that of travel therapy, which couldn't happen at that time, as well as travel therapy coaching couldn't happen as well.
Right.
So it was my pivot during COVID.
Yeah.
And in pivoting, it helped me to realize also that I did have a 6-figure business, and you helped me to see that. And it was just a matter of serving in a different way.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I still had other things to offer.
That's awesome. So when did travel therapy come back? When did when did people start getting travel assignments and start wanting to get back into your course and work with travel agents? When did that return?
I don't know an exact date, but I could say by 2022 it was back on track.
Yeah.
And 2023, I've never seen it better. The rates, the amount of jobs available. Now there might be at any given time hundreds of travel jobs available.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So should we talk about travel therapy, or should we talk about your travel lifestyle first?
Probably the lifestyle.
Okay.
Maybe what I'm doing right now or not doing.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How many days a week do you work?
It depends.
Yeah.
There was a time where it was just 2 days a week, and I was pretty strict on that. I'm fortunate in that I've created systems and processes in my business and created offers and courses in a way that are automated, so I don't have to show up, and everything's kind of automated. But if I want my business to grow, then I do have to put more time in.
Right.
So I'm kind of in a space right now where I'm looking to grow and add to the team and help more people.
That's awesome.
So I'm working more than usual, but in 2023 it was like 2 days a week. Yeah,
that's dope. It was like, I remember you saying like I'm doing 30K months and I want more. I'm like, yeah, but you're only working 2.5. You're like, yes. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty dope. So how do you create, or how do you, or did you create like boundaries around here's when I'm working, here's when I'm not working? Because I have a hard time with that.
Yeah. You have to schedule it. I think that was it, is schedule it and do things on those other days that you're looking forward to doing. I enjoy working. I know you enjoy working, and we call it working, but like, it's just,
Is this really work?
this isn't working. This is talking at a coffee shop and drinking smoothies, and we were skiing, and it's not work. It's helping people. And, so it doesn't feel like work for us, but for majority of the nation, I think work is associated with, well, you work too much.
Yeah.
Or there's too much.
Discomfort.
Yeah. It's because most people don't like what they do, or they like what they do, or they tolerate what they do. But what was the question? How do
you create
I
boundaries and say, hey,
yeah,
right now I'm not working? Is it because you have an activity for yourself, or you can't work when you're driving in your van to the destination?
I mean, listening to podcasts, learning, and all of those things that you learn while you're driving the van and listening, and that's learning to grow your business. But I would say when I was 2 days a week, it was like, I'm going to work on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then on Monday and Wednesday, I'm going to help my sister pack at her business, guinea pig subscription box business, gpigbox.com. Check it out.
Shout out. If you have guinea pigs, go to gpigbox.com.
Yeah. And it's fun. It was fun for me to be able to do that. And then also set time aside to like have a wellness Wednesday, or take time to do whatever I need to do in the house. Or
That's awesome. So, all right. So you got a van.
I do.
Got a pretty dope van. So tell us, so the Wanderlust PTs lifestyle is a lifestyle to basically, for you and other people, to travel and kind of live like this, like life by design.
Yeah.
You know, I can get a travel assignment and use it, do that for 3 months and then take a month off, or use it to get more money to build the next thing, right? So tell me a little bit about what's your weekly schedule, and then I want to know, like, where are you in the van and how did that come about?
Yeah. I like how you said life's by design, because Wanderlust PTs, it started as teaching PTs how to be travel therapists, and the travel therapists allowed for freedoms that other therapists don't necessarily have. Like, you can take off time in between assignments. You can kind of, as long as there's a job at the location you want to go to, like, you can kind of pick and choose and have that kind of freedom. And so that's kind of where Wanderlust and the brand and the term came in. But it's really morphed into, or followed my journey as a therapist. And so while it did start as a travel therapist, I realized that, hey, there are other ways to generate income where I'm not tied to location or time. And so I'm helping people move into that space too, as Wanderlust PTs, not just the travel piece of it, but those who want to free themselves from location or time. So right now my van is parked in Florida.
Okay.
And while I'm skiing here, I'll fly back to Florida, and then where will we go? It's just wherever the wind takes us.
Yeah.
Right now at this point. But it's also nice to be able to, like, if my family needs me or my grandparents are sick or something, I can go be with them as well and help them. So to have the freedom to be there for your family when you need it, but also to have the freedom to be wherever you want to be at that moment too.
That's awesome. So who's helping your sister pack boxes right now?
Her wife. Okay. And she also has another helper at the,
And when you're in town, you do that?
I do it, yeah.
Maybe a shorter day or something.
Exactly. Okay. Yep.
That's fun. So there's three of us with vans in the mastermind. So I've got a van. Odell has it. Odell.
Oh, right. Odell. Yeah. Odell. Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
But so what's in your van? What does it look like? Can you describe, like, how do you make this work?
Yeah. So van life. For anyone interested in like van life or creating a van or what needs to be in it or not be in it, I recommend just trying it, and then you learn what you need or you don't need. For example, I don't have a shower. That's something a Planet Fitness membership can solve.
Right.
I do have a toilet. Number one only.
Because they do make
it. They do. Yeah. And I just number one. It has a cooktop, induction cooktop, refrigerator, bed.
Does the cooktop slide out of the van? Does it slide out of the back, or is it inside?
No, it's inside. It's like countertop, cooktop, sink, 15-gallon water tank, 3 lithium batteries, solar. So I can be off grid for days at a time.
Yeah.
And standing desk, sitting desk, swivel seat. Like it's very comfortable.
Right.
And
Does it say Wanderlust PTs on the side?
it doesn't. And while that would be fun to do, you lose the stealthness of it.
Right.
And so parking in the community town lot or
Yeah, you get
yeah. So while that would be fun, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And also people, I feel like you're more of a target for weirdos, maybe.
For
I don't
sure.
know.
What's the most remote place that you've gone?
Ooh. I don't remote
I mean, you
place.
said we have a satellite internet, so you can do stuff. I'm like, you're clearly going somewhere remote. Like, have you gone like in the middle of like BLM and land, like in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah. I remember specifically driving, I think it was in Nevada, and the gas tank was getting low, and there's a point where like the next gas station isn't for 80 miles and you're like, am I gonna make it, and do we have cell service? Like that's the first thing that popped into my mind when you were like, what's the most remote place you've ever been? But recently we were in the mountains in North Carolina fly fishing, and we didn't have good internet, so we had to like move for internet, and that's when we were like, ooh, we need to get Starlink so that we can fly fish and have internet at the same time, so that we can work and fly fish at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you just love sleeping in the van and hanging out in there? I mean, does it get old after a while?
Maybe I would say like maybe after like 8 weeks I'm craving something different. But it's cozy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Before your house, did you have any, or were you only in the van for a while? I mean,
before I bought my house, I was pretty much in the van in my sister's driveway, and it was COVID. So there was the like, don't get near me part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little bit
like going to your sister's house to shower, but when she was
put the mask on and like shower and then be like, okay, see you, or like sit outside in the garage, and everyone had to sit 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
That's
crazy thinking about that far. Like, wow. And the funny thing is it's not been it hadn't been 4 years yet.
Right.
It feels like years ago.
Glad that's
glad it's over. What okay, so let me ask you, if someone's watching and they want to travel, what are the like 2 or 3 things they need to know about travel PT, or why they should travel, or what they should avoid?
Yes. What I hear most from people is, well, can I travel as a new grad? And the quick answer is yes, absolutely, and you should. But people say these things professors, maybe other people say you shouldn't travel as a new grad because you're not going to have mentorship, or you're going to get thrown to the wolves, or and there are ways that you can prevent those things: asking the right questions on the interview, knowing what you're getting into, educating yourself beforehand. But you should, and you can, and I have coached hundreds of new grads to be successful, confident travelers. One of the biggest mistakes, I would say, is waiting to travel, because you can make almost double basically as a traveler.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And what are the salaries or hourly wages people are getting you should expect? Is there like range? I mean,
I got a text today
I don't even know.
$2,500 a week, like over $2,500 a week. It's rare.
It's $10K a month.
That's
dope.
Yeah. That could be take home too, like net after you pay taxes. But by waiting to travel, like if you're like, oh, I just want to get a year of experience first, a few things you should know. 1, 80% of the jobs are the same jobs that you would be applying for if you were a new grad to move to that area and apply for a job. 80% of the jobs are looking for permanent staff, so same job. In fact, I got a message from somebody who said, I finally decided to travel. And I was like, oh, great. How's it going? And he's like, good. In fact, I was working my perm job and I was working next to a traveler. So he was working as a new grad next to a traveler in the same job, doing the same job, probably getting paid half. So biggest mistake is waiting to travel. You just have to know what to look out for in the jobs. And
why do you think professors tell people they shouldn't travel as new grads? I mean, I know why. I think why.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I sat next to a few, and they then leave the system. You know, the therapists leave the system, and they don't have the staff that they need in order to help for them to work at the hospital, the local hospital, or the. So I think some of them are better in that way.
Yeah.
Some of them genuinely think that they're going to get taken advantage of, thrown to the wolves, and that can happen, perm or travel. It doesn't matter. There are shitty jobs out there, whether it's a perm job or a travel job. Again, you just have to make sure that you know what to look out for.
Yeah. What's the biggest number one red flag someone should look out for when looking for a job or a travel position?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I can't say that there's one. But red flags are interviewing, asking the right questions. I want to say that 100 times. But like, for example, in my first job, I was coming from an outpatient clinic where I was seeing 20 plus people a day, working 14 hours a week, or 14 hours a day, like a great experience, but burnout ensued like pretty quickly. And when I interviewed for a job, I said, what's your productivity? Like I knew the question to ask, what's your productivity? And they said 90%. And I thought, okay, I'm doing 90% right now in the current outpatient job that I'm working in. But it was a skilled nursing facility. And 90% productivity in a skilled nursing facility is different than in an outpatient. So I would say you don't know what you don't know as a new traveler. And asking the right questions on the interview can help throw up red flags like that. In that job, they didn't even provide us with a computer where we could document point of care. So they wanted a 90% productivity, but we couldn't document at point of care. One, two.
What does 90% productivity mean? You see 90% of a full caseload, or I don't even know.
You are so lucky that you don't even know that.
No idea.
Cheers to that. That's great. Yes, that's good. You don't even need to know because you never had to work in an insurance model. That's great. That's really great. Fun. It means it means in an 8-hour day, you have billable time for 90% of the day.
Okay.
So you're billable hours. And if you can't document at point of care and you can't find a blood pressure cuff that works and you have to walk to the bathroom and Mrs. Jones is toileting and like, it's something like 7 hours and I have to do the math, but it's like 7 hours and 36 minutes has to be billable time.
Out of an 8-hour day?
Out of an 8-hour day.
When I was a bike messenger, I got billable hours for toileting because you just didn't, when you left the court, you made sure you did the toileting before you left.
There you go.
That's when the time stopped.
Right, exactly. So that's the productivity. Okay. And I'm glad that you don't know that.
I have no idea.
That's great.
There's like,
yeah.
But
yeah.
That's really funny. Do you have a list of like interview questions?
Yes. Yep.
Is there is that a freebie thing?
It is. Yep. Right on my website.
How do people go get that?
WanderlustPTs.com. And right on my website there's freebies or downloads, and you can find it right there, right on the homepage too. There's 10 must ask interview questions.
Okay. Awesome. We'll put like a link to that in the show notes.
Yeah. Thank you.
If anyone actually looks at the show notes anymore, but we'll do that.
Awesome.
That's awesome. What's the number one thing? What's the biggest lever you've pulled in the last few years that's moved the needle for you in your business in terms of saving more time, making more money, etc.? Is there one thing or two things that you've done that's made the biggest difference?
Yeah. I think that depending on where you are in your business, the answer changes. When I first started with you, the answer was just find somebody who's been there and done that.
Yeah.
And follow what they say. So I would say that was the beginning lever of like, I don't need to reinvent the wheel because you've already been there and done that. So you tell me this is what you should do and this is how you should do it. So I'd say that's one of the bigger levers. In the last year, something that I'm most proud of is now I have a team behind me, and that team is able to, because of that, I can help more people. I can serve more people because we're able to respond to more people. We're able to reach out to more people in a different way. So I would say later in business, it's hiring a team. And being able to buy back your time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So those are two things.
Yeah.
On different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
First is like, I don't know what I'm doing. And now it's, how do I get my time back? Or how do I help more people?
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, you're leveraging your time using automation. So what's the number one like software automation type of thing that's like made you the most money, saved you the most time, or been the most helpful?
Yeah. a lot of people think about social media when they think about online business. And I'm fortunate that I didn't build my business relying on social media.
Right.
And while social media is an important part of growing an online business, or could be an important part of growing an online business, the magic happens in the email list, still, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's where the conversions happen. So if you have an online business, if you're growing a brand, use social media to grab emails and to provide value to your list and to get them to understand who you are and what you do. But importantly, grab emails and grow your email list and serve them through emails.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what's worked for me.
Opinion works for
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Social media is great, but it could go away tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we can still collect all of those emails.
I've had people say to me, I want to grow an online business, but I hate social media.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Me too.
But you're still on social media.
I am.
Yeah.
Not as
much as,
I should be.
But you were even on it before we started working together.
Yeah.
You were there. You had a presence. You had things going on. It's not your number one thing. And I think there's two things that I want to emphasize. Number one, you want an online business, you have to be online and social media.
Yeah.
Or you can pay someone else to do a bunch of stuff. But you also grew your business through like internet search and creating blogs and and now is a different time than 5 years ago.
Total. And it was 2016 is when I launched the blog. So it used to be that before Instagram, before people were searching YouTube, it was you went on Google and you typed in how to be a travel physical therapist and my blog popped up. Right. And now people are searching on Instagram or YouTube so if you're online somewhere, just get good at one piece of it, whether it's YouTube or blog or Instagram, and just concentrate on one thing. You don't have to do all of it.
And you're on social media, but you're not on. Jess isn't on social media. You have a presence, but you're you got a VA doing a lot of that.
I do. Yep. We'll record this. I'll send it. They'll edit it. They'll chop it up. Even there's AI software that will chop it up and edit it for us. And so we don't have to be the ones that are doing the thing.
Right. Are you more comfortable on social media now?
I'm getting there. It helps. Thanks, Odell Miller, too. Just to document your journey, just document your day.
Right.
The bee pollen smoothie.
What else should I ask you about? Besides skiing.
I think that it's really important for PTs to know what opportunities are out there and that their beliefs around what is possible as a PT are only limited by what they've seen and what they've done so far. Right. So expose yourself to other people doing the things or thinking outside of the box because absolutely anything is possible. And I talked about at our retreat reading the 4-Hour Workweek and the impact that had on me in September of 2017 when I read a page in the 4-Hour Workweek that said, people don't want to be millionaires. They want the lifestyle of the freedom that the millionaires have. So how can one then have that kind of freedom without having $1 million in the bank? And that concept alone is what got my mind thinking of, well, yes, I'm a physical therapist. Yes, I serve people, one-on-one, but how can I step outside? How can I serve in a different way? Absolutely anything is possible. How can I live in a van on the beach and then be skiing and then still serve people and do multi 5-figure months? It just, anything is possible. And there are new grads graduating in the program now, Odell and Maria, who are just crushing it, 5 figures right out of school. Right. So you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. And if somebody does, have they been there? Have they done that? And if they haven't, then maybe just take it with a grain of salt because anything is possible.
That's for sure. That's awesome. What was the best thing? What was the best? Let's one more question. Best thing about skiing the last few days? Real quick. Best run thing, whatever. What happened? What'd you pick up? What did we do?
There's so many, but one, hanging out with you because you get a coaching session while skiing with Aaron. And it's a metaphor too for doing hard things, right? We went down hard slopes and you pushed me outside of my comfort zone to do more difficult things. both in business and skiing.
Right. It's funny because you're really graceful and good at skiing, and you're same with your business. You just need some pushes sometimes.
That's right.
Like in both. Like I'm like, you're really good.
In just comfort zone.
Out.
Nice. Insert clip of skiing now.
Right. Yeah. But you hit the moguls like, I'm like, wow, she's like, that's better than I can do it.
I don't know if I've ever done. I like hit them, and I'm like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Right.
But if you've never skied in conditions like this, then we got really lucky. It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. Okay, so where do people find you if they want to connect with you?
Yes. WanderlustPTs.com is my blog, at WanderlustPTs on Instagram, YouTube.
All the places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Email.
WanderlustPTs.
Info at WanderlustPTs.com.
Awesome.
But yeah, would love to hear from you, even if it's just a, hey, saw the podcast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. This is great. Anything else? Any question for me or anything before we finish?
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
God, I think my favorite part from the last few days was there were two. It was that like blue run that we hit that had like 3 inches of powder over the moguls, like that. And then also seeing Maria go from unsure to like a very confident skier.
So good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Also another metaphor for her and her business too.
Right.
She takes action.
Yeah.
She is.
And we gave her a social media strategy to get more leads for a brand new program that she implemented the first day and got like 20 something.
She ran Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And got leads in from Facebook ads. And
that was over the weekend. And I was talking like yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Like, like 20 something people. I'm like,
trying
to ask about this program and apply.
Yeah.
That was dope.
She's great. She takes action.
Yeah.
Well done, Stan.
Yeah, shout out to Maria.
Yeah.
If she's the cheer doctor.
The cheer doctor, yep.
Check her out.
Doctor. And that's another people need to know she's niched into cheerleaders. She's a physical therapist who is niched into cheerleaders, and she's a new grad, and like anything is possible. And I think there's a marketing saying, the riches are in the niches, right?
Yep.
So like just anything is possible. You can work with your target market. You can create anything you want to. It's just a matter of how do you do that? Reach out to this guy.
How do you do it? And take action on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ask him.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
This is great, and thank you for the honey
bee pollen.
I think I drank it because I wasn't talking as much.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.